Alright, today is Mix It Up Monday, and I am mixing the color orange today. There's definitely a variation in orange. You do have your orange, standard yellow, and red mix, but there are variations of orange as well. Let's see if I can get these lined out on the screen. I say colors are more than just a color in the long run. Like, without us realizing, when we look at the color, it is stimulating us in some kind of way. It is moving our nervous system. It is making us make decisions. There are sounds that are at the same frequency as the color orange, and those can be used in media, or there's a whole theory on like how casinos use different sounds, but all of these are to help us engage. Depending on your experiences with different colors, depends on what your communication that you have with the color orange. So colors can reveal and also heal in those regards. If you have an imbalance, it doesn't necessarily mean something's wrong, but there can be an imbalance. But if you see the color orange and you just don't quite feel it out, not really feeling it, sometimes that just means maybe you need the complementary color to orange, which most would assume could be blue if you look at the color spectrum and the color wheel and like what's right across from each other. At school, what I learned is that blue is actually a really sedative color, which some may know. Blue is a really sedative color, so we don't try to go in and sedate right away. We'll try to just kind of, because you can go from really high energy, and then with blue it can just bring you really low, and that could really knock you out of balance too. So we work with colors kind of in between, maybe like a softer blue or a coral. Magenta is a really nice color as well. So that's what part of my intention is behind doing this series, is being involved with the color and knowing that it has a higher purpose than just, oh, orange. That's the color orange. So I also do color meditations for each color that you'll see during this series. I also do colors outside of the series, the 17 colors that I have in this series. I do meditations outside of that. So back to why I have the cards here is that these are kind of around the tones that I'll be using for this piece of canvas today. I have orange, amber, coral, peach, tangerine, bronze, and apricot. I'll probably come in with bronze a little later. You'll probably see that and finish it Friday, because I'll use that as a backing color once I kind of get some detailed circles and areas on the canvas how I want it to be. Each tone of orange has its own purpose, like meaning. Everything has like what I call a spiritual message. So I'll kind of go through that as I'm mixing colors with you. The colors I want to mix with you today, I will have orange, most likely peach and coral, and tangerine. I want to mix them all, of course. Maybe apricot. I'll probably hold off. I'll still use bronze and apricot in the painting. I'll probably, yeah, I'll use these in my painting. It'll just be a little later. And I'll add, as if you've seen my Finish It Up Friday, I do like a time lapse on my YouTube channel of me working throughout the 2 weeks, and so I'll make sure to add me mixing those colors into there so you can see that as well. I make my orange, I do like a 3:1 ratio. 1 part yellow, 3 parts yellow, 1 part red. Mixed colors all day long. Going to explain it, another world. I'll be using the brushes I used again with red. You'll see that they're stained, but they don't have red in them any longer. So I'll just mix this up here. This is just going to be my standard orange tone. Orange, like spiritual meaning, is to nurture yourself. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you're getting to express yourself the way that you want to express yourself. The color orange is your Dantian, which connects to your spleen, your hips, your ankles, kind of still like the lower area of your body, like red, but we kind of work up just a little bit in the spinal area. I think I've showed this chart before. The red zones here, we start kind of moving up the vertebrae just before your mid-back. Here you can still use C#. As I mentioned in other videos, I use tuning forks every now and then on my canvas as I'm working. I like that the sound is with the colors so they can collaborate on their own together. So I think this looks like a really nice orange. You can tell me what you think in the comment area if it looks like orange to you. Let's see here. I think I was going to do Tangerine next. So I'll take a little bit of the orange that I created here and just the smallest amount of red. Doesn't need too much red. That was probably a little too much red. So I'm going to come back in with a little bit more orange and just mix that right in. It's not too dramatic of a difference, but just enough to have a different feeling once you see it. So this one, when you see it, the color Tangerine, it can be a little more spontaneous and a little bit more fun in your life. There are different ways to exercise that into your day-to-day life. Maybe when someone invites you to go out somewhere for lunch and typically you're like, no, I'm going to do X, Y, Z like I typically do. Maybe that's the day that you'll decide to just go and do it and see what happens. Yeah. That's Tangerine. You can kind of see the difference here. There we go. I like that. I'm going to rinse this though. I can't let that Tangerine color run over to my peach. Peach is definitely a lighter tone than the Tangerine. Peach brings the message to breathe, to inhale, exhale, and to slow it down just a little bit. So I'll take a little bit of this orange again here. And I'll need just a tad of white. Alright, so just a hint of white with this orange, just the smallest amount. Again, I'm using watercolors to make this. Oh, that one a little more coral. I wasn't ready for coral. We need to switch those cards. No. Yeah, I ended up making a little bit too much white there. And come back into my orange and pick it up. I'm going to finish off this coral. There's no reason not to just go, not to follow through. Some things that just happen. It's actually a really pretty coral. definitely giving me that sunset beach vibe. Which when you're at the beach or have the opportunity to be at the beach, you just kind of go with the flow of the waves. Just kind of relax. Which is definitely part of the message of coral. So that worked out nicely. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can get this peach going a little bit again. So I gotta rinse my brush. Come back in with this orange. I'll probably mix me up a little bit more orange, maybe. So orange. Go. Come back over here to make peach, orange. I'm gonna put a little more yellow to that and add a little bit of white. Let's see if we can get that breath just right again. Alright. Yeah, that's looking a little more peach there, huh? Again, orange is great to have in your life, so that way you are expressing yourself the way that you want to be expressing yourself. Since orange is connected to our spleen is like our telephone for our body and is the way that we communicate. Kind of like the crossroad between the spiritual world and the physical world, and how and who we are as people. And you know, like, if it's our sacred place of creation, so you know when you look at somebody, sometimes you can just kind of tell, like, man, they could use like a little pump, a little jump start in their day. And some people will say go get some coffee, and which that's great, but maybe trying having an orange for the day, or smelling an orange if you don't like eating orange, or wearing the color orange for the day. And maybe orange is a little too intense for you that day, so try to find something kind of in the middle ground, like a coral or tangerine. If you're really not about orange, or you feel like you have, if you feel like you already have too much energy and maybe you need to chill out a little bit, and you can't just walk away from a project for a moment because you need to put it all in there, but you end up really exhausted at the end, maybe give yourself a little break by having maybe like a baby blue tone around you, or a little bit of magenta. Maybe that will give you a little more ease in your day. Over here I'm just adding orange to my amber. Awaken the creativity. Sometimes we're or just writer's block, artist block. I already did 4 projects in 1 month block, and you're needing to have another spark in your life. Inviting a little bit of bronze into your life, just the hint of the grounding of the color, with a little bit of that brown to ground you, a little bit of the orange to keep your creativity going. Probably a little bit too much there. Alright, it's getting there, but I said bronze. This is amber. Making the color amber. Bronze and amber are relatively close, because they both still offer the brown and the orange, of course. But bronze has more of an iridescent sheen to it, and amber has more of a little bit of a yellow to it. Just subtle differences, but enough to make you feel differently. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. And I talked about grounding with the color red, and I mentioned many times grounding like with Mother Earth, so to say. Here on this physical earth, grounding, feeling like you feel comfortable walking in your day-to-day life cycle. Orange grounds you inside of your physical body, so you physically, as I point to my Dantian, you physically feel secure in what you're doing. You physically feel like you know what you're doing in your day-to-day life. Let it be creative. You feel like you have the flow to get your goals accomplished day to day. You're able to express yourself and get your message across. You want to feel here in your body. All right. Save a little bit of this. Of course, clean off my brushes. Last time I cleaned up where I mixed my colors when I was doing red, mixed it up Monday and getting ready for Tune In Tuesday. I'm pretty sure, one, I like how it looks. It's neat to me. So I'm gonna leave this here for Tune In Tuesday and leave these markings. I want the color for the most part to come off, because I want to paint with it in other areas of the canvas. But I'm going to leave the markings of where I mixed it on my canvas. And I think that's the power of the message of orange. Why I even got into color therapy started with me just feeling like these, when I painted, that the colors were just striking me left and right, every color that I was picking up with no rhyme or rhythm, but it made me feel very like a certain way, and I felt really energized, or like throw red on my canvas or throw orange on my canvas and kind of smear it around. And then I saw myself more around the cool tones, like just kind of slowing it down and chill and really taking my time making a circle. And but I was registering that, and I was like, colors have to mean more. I can see that I'm responding differently, and that's what got me doing more reading, more research on it, and how I got some great books out of the situation. But then I eventually just enrolled into school where they specialize in teaching you about colors and about sound. Coral is there. Coral is not leaving. I just got enough. Fortunately, these are watercolors, so they I'll get it to spread a little bit, but that's staying. Allow the flow. That's for sure, Coral. All right. Peach. Peach is going to be my last color here. Mix It Up Monday is always shorter than the other days because all I have to do is mix my colors and kind of just introduce where my head will be at during these next 2 weeks of painting and what type of communication I'm wanting to get across with these colors, and what I've just learned from school. I like how they turned out. Definitely liked how they turned out. If you have any questions about the color orange or any of the orange tones that I'm using, don't forget that you can comment. And I will definitely message you back. With peach being here, don't forget to inhale and just take a nice breath. I need that often. Coral, just kind of just go with the flow. And once you go with the flow, you can see there's synchronicities in life. If you like seeing synchronicities or things that are just ironic, or you want more things to line up for you in life, if you're looking to achieve something creatively, maybe having coral around you will help you see things that you didn't see before, and it will kind of be like connecting the dots all of a sudden. Orange alone, just nurture yourself, take care of yourself, make sure that you feel well and ready for the day and ready for being out and about and expressing yourself how you want to be expressing yourself, and that you just feel confident in what you're doing. And if you're not feeling confident, put an orange in your bag. And if you're feeling overconfident, maybe bring a little magenta with you to just have a little balance. Nothing's wrong with confidence, but sometimes we know that we've been in conversations where we're like, yeah, I was a little overconfident. So maybe adding a little baby blue in your life or a little magenta might bring you a little more balance. Tangerine, be spontaneous. All of this sounds bizarre to you, a little too weird. Give it a try. Start off with Tangerine. Give it a go. See if, experiment with it. Experiment with me. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you've tried any of this, or if you tried bringing an orange to work one day when you were feeling really sleepy, and let me know if it did change your day. Even the fact of doing it, maybe you don't think it was the color, but just the fact that you decide to be spontaneous alone, just however you decide to experiment with it, let me know. I'm curious. I do this often, and depending on the situation, I always have different effects. Is it effective? Yes, because it still motivated me to do something different. And then the amber over here, let me put you back in the screen. Awaken your creativity. So there's that project that you've been wanting to do and you just haven't done it, or it's just been on the back burner, and you've been really wanting to get to it, but you haven't had quite the time to get to it. do it. Name it amber. Write in the color amber, like with your writing pen. Find an amber pen. Wear it. There are lots of different ways. You might actually start seeing these tones a little more, where you used to think, oh, that's orange, and now seeing these colors, you're like, oh, that's actually more like coral, or that's more like tangerine. Who knows? Thank you for who are here with me right now, or who will be viewing later. If you're into it, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. You can see more of my weird, quirky things about colors. You can see me just painting.